It started with a sound that didn't belong on that quiet suburban street, a low, rumbling thunder that made curtains twitch and hearts quicken. For Harley engines rolled through the golden afternoon like storms on chrome wheels, the insignia of Hell's Angels blazing in the sunlight. Children froze mid-play. Dogs stopped barking. Even the wind seemed to hesitate. To the neighbors, it was chaos intruding on calm. But amid that thunder, another sound rose, small, trembling, heartbreakingly out of place. "Sir, will you buy my bike?" The words came from a little girl no older than 6, standing at the edge of the sidewalk with a cardboard sign that read, "For sale." Her pink bicycle leaned beside her, its white basket decorated with fading ribbons. Her shoes were worn, her hair messy, but her eyes, those eyes, held a kind of sadness no child should know. The bikers slowed. One of them, a tall man with rough hands and a soul stitched together by loss, turned off his engine and climbed down. His name was Ryder, though his brothers called him Wolf. He'd seen war, betrayal, and death, but never innocence trying to sell its only toy for food. Behind the girl, under a tree in the distance, a frail woman sat wrapped in a blanket, too weak to stand. And when the girl spoke again, her voice quivering, every man there felt his heart break. "Please, sir. Mommy hasn't eaten in 2 days." Ryder knelt slowly, the leather of his jacket creaking as he met her gaze. The chrome of his bike reflected her tiny figure, a mirror to 2 worlds that should never have met. "What's your name, sweetheart?" he asked gently. "Mira," she whispered, clutching her cardboard sign tighter. "I just want to help Mommy." Behind her, the woman under the tree stirred, coughing weakly. Ryder's throat tightened. His brothers, Tank, Viper, and Mason, exchanged silent glances. They'd seen him like this only once before, the day he buried his son. Mira explained in small, halting words what had happened. Her mother, Clara, once worked for a local catering company owned by a man named Mr. Hensley, a respected CEO with polished shoes and a reputation for generosity. But when the company downsized, Hensley had called Clara into his office, smiled that corporate smile, and said, "It's just business." Clara had begged, not for herself, but for her daughter. Hensley dismissed her with a wave. "You'll manage," he said. And he turned away, but she didn't manage. The bills came faster than she could pay them, and soon the electricity went out. Then the fridge emptied. Clara stopped eating so her daughter could have the last pieces of bread. Pride kept her from asking neighbors for help. And when Mira saw her mother crying quietly at night, she made a choice only a child with a heart too big for her age could make. She decided to sell her bike. Ryder's jaw clenched. Something inside him, long dead, started to burn again. He pulled out his wallet and handed her a wad of bills, more than enough for food, medicine, and rent. "Keep the bike, kiddo," he said softly. "And tell your mom she's not alone." But even as Mira smiled through her tears, Ryder knew this wasn't enough. Money could feed them for a while, but it wouldn't fix what broke them. He stood up, looking toward his brothers. No words were needed. They understood. The 4 men mounted their bikes, engines roaring like thunder after lightning, and rode toward the city. The glass tower of Hensley Foods gleamed in the afternoon sun, tall, proud, untouchable. Inside, the man himself sat behind a mahogany desk, sipping coffee from a gold-rimmed cup, completely unaware of the storm rolling toward him. When Ryder and his men walked into the lobby, heads turned. The receptionist froze mid-sentence. The echo of their boots filled the marble halls. Hensley looked up from behind his glass office wall, his confident smirk faltering as the door swung open. "Can I help you?" he said, voice laced with irritation. Ryder didn't answer right away. He walked forward, placed the small cardboard sign on the CEO's desk, "For sale," the one Mira had held in her trembling hands. "That," Ryder said, his voice low but steady, "is what your greed cost." Hensley frowned, confused. "What is this? Some kind of stunt?" Ryder took a slow step closer. "You fired a woman named Clara, a mother who worked harder than anyone in your company. You left her and her daughter to starve while you smiled for cameras and called yourself a good man. Hensley's fake confidence cracked. You don't understand business, don't talk to me about business, Ryder cut in sharply. I understand survival. I understand loss. And I understand that when a child has to sell her bike to feed her mother, someone's got to be held accountable. For a long, suffocating moment, silence filled the room. Then, quietly, Ryder added, you can't buy forgiveness, Hensley. But you can earn redemption. And then they left, no threats, no violence, no destruction. Just the echo of truth heavy in the air. That night, something changed. By morning, whispers spread through town. The same CEO who had turned his back on a starving woman suddenly made anonymous donations to every struggling family in the city. Groceries appeared on doorsteps. Hospital bills vanished. And those he'd laid off were rehired with back pay. No one knew why. The media speculated about guilt or PR strategy. But the truth was quieter, and far more powerful. When Ryder and his brothers returned to the same street that evening, Mira was waiting by the tree. This time, her mother was standing beside her, still weak, but smiling. The light of the setting sun washed over them in gold, and for the first time, Ryder saw hope shining where despair once lived. Did you do that? Clara asked softly, tears glistening in her eyes. Ryder shook his head. We just reminded someone what being human means. They shared bread that night, bikers and strangers, family by heart. Mira laughed as the men let her sit on one of the motorcycles, her pink bicycle parked proudly beside it. Tank played with her ribbons, Mason fixed her basket. Even Viper, the silent one, smiled. As dusk deepened into night, Ryder watched the cardboard sign lying folded in Mira's lap. For sale. It no longer meant desperation. It meant a story, of courage, kindness, and the spark that could change hearts. The engines roared one last time before they left. The wind carried the sound far beyond that street, a message written in steel and compassion. You don't need wings to be an angel. Sometimes, you just need to stop when you hear a child asking for help. If this story touched your heart, remember, compassion isn't weakness, it's power. One act of kindness can rewrite someone's entire life. Speech balloon. Tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were in Ryder's place? Red heart, like, share, and subscribe to Echo Tales so stories like Mira's can reach more hearts around the world. Because sometimes, it only takes one small act to make the whole world believe in kindness again.